or damn close. And she was dating a male model who I know. And she's like, I can't be with him. He is kid. He is kid. And this guy's a male model. He's fucking jacked. And I'm sitting there with my bald fucking head. And I'm like, so this is your alternative? This is what you want? And ultimately for her, she doesn't like it when a guy he doesn't have an established reality yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't have he's just not there
like
yet.
A nebulous, shifting sands.
Doesn't quite know who he is.
Right.
Doesn't know his boundaries. Doesn't command the room when he enters into. Doesn't have that full-fledged status. Kid.
Like when the girl, when the girl goes out with me, it's like, it's unusual, but it's definitely an experience. It's an experience unlike any other.
The reason why is because there's a male energy or an anchoring that an older guy has. And I mean, it's got to the point where I'll have girls suck on my man boobs, suck on my man boobs.
Suck on my man boobs.
I love man boobs. I love man boobs. I love man
boobs. Suck on my man boobs.
When I'm out at the club, like it's tits, and that's become my go-to, or to kiss my bald head, or to rub my belly. It's like, I embrace it, okay? I just embrace whatever, hi guys. I just embrace whatever it is that I see.
Yeah, we have to get up early.
I like how you pull your,
so you just have to sit there.
Daddy. Yeah, we went over some lectures.
See.
That's a cute one.
There's the suit?
Up right here. I guess.
Oh, I guess you will. I'm old, so I just started Instagram. He got me into it.
Did you send her a DM?
What is that? I don't even know what this is.
Did he send it to you?
I don't even know what a DM is.
All right, so, and that's just, to us, that's just life, right? Like, and we literally we just go around and do that all day. It's non-stop, and trust me, if we're not in the middle of shooting a video, it's like. So, okay, what is groundedness, and what does groundedness mean? What is that weight that makes the difference that you get as you get older? In my mind, I actually view it that a personality, and try to follow this for a minute, a personality has weight to it.
No, I agree with
There's weight to it. So when you say
there's weight and depth, right?
Yeah.
Both.
Okay, so when you say hello, a lot of time when a younger person says hello, it's kind of like, hi. Like it's this kind of untethered energy that a lot of younger people have. And so it doesn't connect or make that same kind of impact that you'll see with basically with what you get as you get older. And to me, that's one of the main reasons why it's just so much fun getting into this as you're getting older, because it just really does get better and better. Like what we just did there, I mean, that's like some little short interaction.
Silly.
Yeah,
silly,
there's not a lot to it, right? But that's kind of how we walk around all day. And to be fair, we're also recording. Yeah. But then again, to be fair, we also pull those when we're not recording. And we just walk through life like that. So I'm sorry, but I got to be honest here. In what way is the marriages that you see a lot of guys having where they don't even like their wife and she gets out of shape, how is that any more fun? I refuse to believe that. That said, I think that it can be more fun. But that's my point, that I love marriage, I love long-term relationships, but it's a choice. You're not boxed in. If you want to enjoy some of your best years in game and just have more and more fun with it, go for it. If you want to go long-term with somebody, fucking awesome. But it's a choice. Really, so we're not here advocating a lifestyle, but we're here to explain to you very clearly, it's a choice. And if you want to be still hooking up with 21-year-old girls, that's your choice, or not. I also like girls from out age a lot. So it's really up to you.
So anyway, I think that that's a pretty good comprehensive look at the topic. It's just, again, this game truly never ends. You can go in and out of it. It'll always be a home for you. And, you know, as an older guy, you can be there and you could compete, not just be competitive with younger guys, but totally outclass them in many ways very, very easily.
Am I allowed to talk to her for 1 second? Just 1 second.
Did you like that look? Because I did. Like a lot. Anyway,
How sober are you? Will you remember me if I call you?
Yes, of course.
I'll call you. Is that it?
Yep.
How old are you?
22.
That's a good age. 36. Almost 36.
Is that a good age?
I like it.
Yeah? Tell me about 22, because I turned it literally 3 weeks ago.
I'm quite the gentleman this evening. Remember, take the groundedness of older guys, but older guys, take the spark of younger guys.
Yeah.
Younger guys don't know where their dick is. They don't know who they are, and they want to prove themselves. That hunger is why most guys who get good at game are younger. It's not the actual skill, it's the hunger. So always remember, if you're an older guy, surround yourself with that 21-year-old pickup dude who's like,
encourage you to go out.
could we learn game?
Yeah.
Could we go out? What would happen? Could we get in there?
They encourage you to try different things and resist that urge to like succumb to that calcified worldview of what you think has been right thus far.
Yeah.
Right? Experiment, have fun with it, and reap the benefits.
Yeah, across the board, I make sure that I've got older mentors, 58, 62. I've also got younger friends, 21, 24, 25, and then friends of my own age. And that's critical because you always want those various influences in your mix. So again, older, grounded, gets the traction easier. Younger, more motivated, has a spark, more flexible, and not so uptight or ego, arrogance, like, I already get it, why should I do this? That's just, I'm too old for this, you should just be at home with your kids. It's a choice, it's up to you, you can decide. You write your own fate. We haven't said do game until old age, we haven't said not to. Just said do whatever you want. You only got one life to live, so live on your terms, not on anybody else's expectation. Don't do game till you're older to impress the RSD community, and don't get in a relationship just because you're shamed into it. Yeah. Pick what you want and live your truth.
So yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.
We're going to go take our wheelchairs to the club now.
Take our wheelchairs to the club. My walker, my cane.
Rocking chair waiting.
Get my dentures in, and my Viagra. I need a lot of it. Like and subscribe. Smash that fucking like button. This has been Tyler. And Jeff.
And your proverbial boy, Jeffy. Yo.
Till next time.
The Tyler. Pick up at a bar and I'll get thrown out by the staff.
Yo, 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 what up? It's me, your proverbial boy, Jeffy. I'm here today in San Francisco, and today I wanted to address a question that I got from somebody, and it revolves around the staff at the venues that you're choosing to frequent, okay? So this guy says this: hey, how do you deal with the staff throwing salt on your game? I've noticed them giving me the side eye after repeated visits. I want to curb this before it becomes a problem. As well you should. I discovered another venue within walking distance, so I'm going to try bouncing back and forth so I'm not seeing that often, but that's the only solution I've come up with. Now, this was posted in the Execute the Program group, and different guys said different things in response to this question. One guy said, just keep going to the same place. Realistically, nothing will happen. Another dude said, LOL, I got so much hate because I was killing it with women at a venue. So again, there's like a lot of different experiences, a lot of different opinions on this. Personally, I think I'm uniquely qualified to address this, as I've had, I've been doing this for many, many years. I've also, been a bit of a minor local celebrity, and not for the good reasons. And I've been, 86 from venues. I've seen other guys doing ridiculous behaviors that have been 86 from venues. I've also had certain venues where I was treated essentially like God, and everything in between. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know what the dealio is with regard to how you should be interacting with the staff at these venues that you're frequenting as you're doing game. Whether that be, beast mode, straight up cold approach night game, or whether it be like on a date or something of that nature. Okay? So let's crack into it. If we're talking about like dates, for example, I've had places where I've taken literally thousands of dates, and to this day I still essentially go to mostly the same couple of places, and the reasons for that are logistics, convenience, etc. And it's really never been a problem for me taking hundreds, if not thousands of days to these same places, until of course I was put on blast in the media, but that's a whole other issue. In fact, I remember one time that I had a problem is when I had like a media scandal and it blew up, and they're like, this is where he goes to this restaurant, this bar / restaurant. And then the next time I went to that place, which was like a month and a half, maybe 2 months after that happened, the bar manager was like, what the hell are you doing, man? He's like, you got me in so much trouble. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the owner read that shit and he came in, he's like, what the hell are you guys doing here? He's like, who is this Jeff guy? What the fuck are you doing? He's like, I don't know this guy. I'm like, yeah, sorry about that, man. And I'm like, so what, am I banned? He's like, no, you're not 86th, but you probably shouldn't bring any more first dates here. But again, unless you're having some crazy media scandal, this probably isn't gonna happen. Remember, the bottom line with most game, but it all comes back to what? The number one rule, whatever you feel, they feel. So again, don't worry about it until it becomes a problem.
Yo. I have to find out how to get
and
new
then
viewers.
handle it after the fact. If you're at the bar beasting or whatever, again, you have to understand, people go there to do that all the time, not just people.
Beasting. Fucking beasting. Jesus, dude. Wait. Where's the fit misc? Hey. Hey. I'm gonna fucking edit this shit. Just 'cause I'm too small. Oh! 'Cause I'm too small. Oh shit. Alright, I have to think of some ideas. I have to write some of my ideas. I have to write some of my ideas for shit. It doesn't really matter. Nah. Hey.
People who study this stuff, the social dynamics.
Today I want to talk to you about one of the biggest issues you probably have in your game, and that is showing intent, or not showing intent, or maybe misunderstanding overall what intent is. That's probably more to the heart of it. But before I get into exactly the details of this, let me tell you why I think you have this problem. Over the last week or so, I've been coaching a lot of people, right? Doing a lot of like diagnostics for new students that I've been taking in. And almost every single person has a version of the same problem. There's one or two versions of the intent problem. And so when the first guy came to me, I was like, oh, you know, you just don't understand what intent is. Next guy, oh, you don't understand what intent is. By guy number 6, I'm like, you know what? People are not fucking teaching you guys what intent is. You're misunderstanding it, and you fundamentally probably think that showing intent is attractive. You probably think that. That is not true. Let me explain now. So if intent is kind of bullshit, why is it taught, and why is it taught the way it is? Well, as a beginner, especially the type of beginner that's usually coming into trying to learn dating skills or learn pickup, intent is a big thing. Because most of those type of guys are very shy, very little experience with women, and probably a little scared to even put their, their feelings out there, right? Remember when you were in middle school and, if someone found out you had a crush on a girl, it's like, oh, Todd has a crush on, whoever, right? And it's like this embarrassing, shameful thing. And you become very scared about showing interest, very scared about being caught being interested in a girl in whatever way. And so there's this natural inclination to hold back and not show intent. And so that's one of the big things that you'll see from really new guys, is that they're afraid to even tell a girl they like her. And they end up in this conversation, we call it the half-hour conversation in nowhere, right? Where it's just like random topic, next random topic, next random topic. Guy comes back and you're like, did you show her you have a penis, right? And the guy's like, no. And you're like, well, you fucked up. You didn't show her you have a penis, right? And for that guy, that specific guy, telling him, just tell her she's cute, tell her you're interested, that is progress for him. Because for that very beginner guy, it is going to take him from an interaction that has basically zero chance of going anywhere to an interaction where if the girl really likes him, there's some chance of it going somewhere, all right? Now, just because it works at that very beginner level, though, does not mean that it's what you want to do at a higher level. So if you are terrified of telling a girl you like her, go do it a little bit, adjusting yourself over the fear, fine. But don't think that it's actually good game, okay? The problem is this. And this brings me to mistake number 2 that I see over and over and over again. Guy goes up and he starts with the most common opener of all time. Hey, you're cute, I wanted to meet you. Or hey, I really, really like you, I think you're very cute, I just was overwhelmed, I thought I'd be kicking myself if I didn't come over here, just to go even further with it, right? That opener is fucking terrible. That is the worst frame, right? The frame there is, you're this goddess, I would do anything for you, I'm this lowly guy, and I hope you would deign to spend some time with me. Yeah, you showed intent. Yeah, you showed that like you're there interested. Okay, fair enough, you did that. You also completely shot yourself in the foot. You also completely conveyed that you're overwhelmed, conveyed that this isn't normal for you, conveyed that you haven't had girls in your life, etc., etc., etc. So you did so many negative things at the same time. And so here's what I want you to understand showing intent as. Okay? It's a means to an end. Okay, it's a means to an end. And what that end really is what I call establishing a premise. Or a lot of times I tell my students, getting to the point, okay? That's really the mentality and the phrasing that I like better nowadays, given what I've seen over the last week or so, all the mistakes students are having, is getting to the point or establishing a premise. Okay, think of it this way. Certain social interactions have a certain social context. If you show up, you met someone online on like Match.com, you show up, you expect to show up for a date. You don't expect to show up for a business meeting. And if someone started acting like giving you a business-like handshake and sat you down around a board table and started talking to you from far away, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? This is violating my expectations. I thought we had a date, right? Similarly, if you go for a job interview and someone cozies up with you on a couch and starts getting physical, you're like, what the fuck is going on? This is some fucked up job interview, okay? So there's a context, there's an understanding of what the meaning of the interaction is, and that's important. So when you say being man to woman, it's important that you establish that man-to-woman context. However, showing overt interest in the girl, giving a girl massive compliments, giving away your power is only one of many ways to do it, and it's probably the worst way to do it, right? So if you learn that showing intent means just flat out overtly telling a girl you like her just as this like blanket statement, you're really, really shooting yourself in the foot, but that's what's taught. And the reason that's what's taught is because it's the simplest way to get newbies from like level 0 to level 1. Problem is, if you keep those habits, you're going to stay at level 1 or 2 for a really fucking long time. That's a big reason why guys don't get good at game, okay? So you need to understand better ways of establishing that premise, better ways of establishing that frame. And there are so many. There are so many, right? It can be as simple as you're talking to a girl and she says something that could potentially be embarrassing or be misconstrued sexually, and you just kind of like give her like that little eyebrow raise. You just did it. With that little, you just conveyed that this isn't like a platonic thing, right? Or when you shake a girl's hand, instead of having, I call it the business-like handshake, you do the man-to-woman handshake, more like this, right? More like you're dancing with the girl. From that moment, you've already conveyed that it's a man-to-woman interaction, but you did this just through your way of being with her, not through your declaring interest, not through your giving your power away, all right? Or you guys may have noticed, speaking of intent, I had a video on the channel recently, it was like, steal my lines, how to show intent, right? Every line on there, it did show some interest. It also had a bit of a, what we call a push-pull, a little bit of a push away or a little bit...
dumb fuck.
Welcome to the opening series. The goal of this series is to give you the most comprehensive, in-depth, but also practical and actionable look at opening that's humanly possible. And the way that we're going to do that is this. I'm going to show you a specific type of open with every single video. I'm going to go over what that open is. We're going to give you infield examples of that open. I'm going to give you the principles, the pros and cons, all the details and information I have about the open, and then we're going to talk about one specific general opening sort of idea or one principle that's very important with that particular style of open, right? So every single one of these is going to handle one very common style of opener that's very, very effective, and it's going to go into crazy depth on it, all right? So with that said, the opener I wanted to start with on this very first installment of the opening series is the direct open. This is probably the most common open that you've ever seen, probably the most common open you've ever done. It's kind of the open that if you don't know what you're doing, but you're just feeling attracted to a girl and you want to go tell her, the kind of the thing that you blurt out. And there's a lot of very positives about this open, okay? Now the open specifically is this: hello, and then compliment, right? Hey, I thought you were cute, I wanted to meet you. Hey, I love your dress. Something like that. Hey, I love your dress, I'm Todd. Those kind of opens, all right? So let's look at an example of that right now, and then we're gonna break it down. So I adore the sunglasses. I don't even know what to say. Here's what it is. I'm sorry. I actually have to go to say, who are you?
Oh, well, I'm here for today. Super just roaming around.
So now that you've seen it in action, let's talk a bit about this opening style. This is actually one of the opening styles I recommend very, very highly for someone beginning in game. And the reason for that is when people are starting out in game, one of the biggest mistakes you're going to see is lack of intent. Showing the girl that they're interested in. Right? A lot of guys have what we call the half-hour conversation, where there's chit chat, and they leave. And if it's like maybe a student of mine, I ask, does she know you have a penis? And the student's like, well, maybe. Right? The answer to that should be yes. The answer should be she knows you're there as a man. She knows that this is a man-to-woman interaction. And the good thing about giving a compliment at the start, or even saying I wanted to meet you explicitly at the start, is it helps you along the path towards being man to woman. One big principle in opening is the idea that the frame of the open, it's going to control the frame of the interaction, right? So if you open very direct, you're going to have a very direct interaction. If you open indirect, you're going to have an indirect interaction. By showing intent at the very start, you make it easier because you've already kind of broken that intent barrier. You make it easier to show intent throughout the interaction, so you make it easier to be the type of man who escalates. So for that reason, because a lot of newbies don't show a lot of intent, I find that this opener can be very good for newbies for that reason, okay? So that's one very good positive about it. Also, at a kind of a lower newbie level of game, a lot of guys are even scared to show intent, so the very fact that you're ballsy enough to say I like you, that you're ballsy enough to just admit it and put it out there without apology, actually says to the girl, you're not a super low-value guy. Because low-value guys would be very hesitant. What's the time? Right, the beating around the bush. Whereas if you're at least confident enough to say, this is what I'm here for, this is what I want, I like you, that at least says that you're not a super low-value guy. So for all these reasons, I think it is a good opener for a beginner. And to be fair, it's a good opener even beyond a beginner level. It's not just for beginners, but it is one of the first openers I'd recommend to a beginner. The other great thing about it is that assuming that a girl likes you, this type of opener moves the interaction along a lot faster. Right? There are a lot of openers that lead to more indirect sets, that lead to more beating around the bush style of game. And if that's the case, if you're using that kind of opener with a girl that already likes you, you're wasting a lot of time. Right? So when the girl likes you, you do want to get to the point. So those are a lot of the positives about this type of opener. What are some of the negatives? Well, the main negative to this type of opener is that you're basically conveying your intent or conveying the fact that you like her right away. The fact that you're doing that means she has to make a decision very early on. So you're asking her to decide within the first few seconds of the interaction whether she likes you, whether she would consider you a sexual prospect. So if you've come off very well, if you seem high value, you're going to get a yes a decent amount of the time. But you also, even then, might get a no a decent amount of time because she doesn't know you very well. And certainly if there are flaws in your body language, flaws in your tonality, those kind of things, you're going to get a lot of very negative reactions very quickly because you're asking a girl to make a decision off of limited information, some of which is negative. Okay, so the big issue there is that you will get more immediate rejections. The other more minor issue, which is related, is that you're going in and by showing your interest right away, a lot of guys, when they do this type of open, will have very obvious interactions where it's very clear they're into the girl, it's very clear that the girl can have them, and so there's not a lot of sexual tension. So it's important at a high level, if you're going to use this opener beyond like a beginner level, that even if you open fairly direct, even if you open with a compliment, that there be some sort of push-pulls, that there be some sort of like teases or pushing her away or showing that there's a chance she can't have you later on so that you actually do establish some sexual tension, right? The major mistake that a lot of guys make with this is they go in and like compliment the girl and they just keep complimenting her and complimenting her and complimenting her. The girl's on this massive pedestal, she feels great, but she has no reason to sleep with you because she's already been fully validated. Okay, so you want to be careful about specifically over-validating the girl. So those are kind of the cons. Again, the pros, the fact that it's direct, you're being man to woman and you're establishing that frame in the set. The cons, the fact that you're basically giving away a lot of your power and asking for a response before she's seen a lot of your personality. So you're asking for her to judge on very little. You're going to get more rejections and sets where you tend to be the one pushing a bit more. Okay, but it is a very strong opening style, very, very good for beginners. And one of the reasons why I recommend for beginners to learn it is, one, it's simple, and you can get a result with it. You're not from the city. You're a tourist?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is it just you?
Well, I'm with a group, but I just
You're
dropped
like,
off some
fuck
extended
the group,
family.
I'm going to go do my
Yeah,
own thing.
exactly.
I admire your independence. I'm Todd. Nice to meet you. You are?
Hi,
You're what? You're not just mindlessly repeating a line. Opener. Or so that you have, the better. But I. And so when do you work like 9 to 5 or do you work like crazy hours?
No,
9 to 5? Okay, cool. Maybe we'll get a drink after work or something like that.
very nice meeting you.
As well. You seem very lovely.
Fuck this dude. What to text the girl?
Yo, was geht ab? Max from Rizzo. Later on, I'm texting her, yo, about those VIP tickets. I can only pay you in cocaine and kisses. Which one do you prefer? Now her emotions are back with you from when you initially met her. Now she's remembering, the funny guy. She remembers how you smelled. She remembered how your tonality was, how confident you were, yada, yada, yada. But you need to start doing that in person. Set up any sort of fucking inside joke. Could be anything. She's like, oh, I'm from Ireland. I go, oh, you're beating your wife? Right? Like, oh, the Guinness, you know? Anything like that.
Yeah.
You can later on send her a picture of a Guinness pint. Like, you, me plus Guinness equals guess. And she's like, I don't know, heart? No, throw up. You know, anything like that. Inside joke.
I gotta play music, but I want to listen to music, but I can't fucking let you guys hear it. But I'll listen to some music. It really sucks how I can't just like play music and shit. You thought the show. Yeah, I like the song. Whew. I'm pretty sure if I play the audio, it gets me banned. But the music video probably will. Okay. The stuff that bans you are robots. The robots search for copyright. And the robot would pick up the audio and ban for copyright. However, if you play the small music video in like a small little corner, then the robot won't ban for copyright, you know. I wish I could play it, but if I play it, I just get banned, you know. So basically, the robot cannot sense that this is a video because it's with the whole thing. I'll go on Mixer in a while, yeah. I could go on Mixer right now, I just have to get a shirt. Hey! Possibility. Ah. Come past vacation as I walk on vacation from. Survey. thinking so much differently. Her flames, people's mindless games. Hey. Alright, I'll put back on the whatever video. So thinking so much differently.
Make sense? Second really important point here is take advantage of the technological means that you have at your disposal nowadays.
Thinking
Apps like
so much
Viber, WhatsApp, but also social media like Instagram.
What up? It's Owen and Matt. Anybody to go sleep with a married woman. I'm not. I disavow that behavior. But it's also important.
This thing right here, when a girl is crossing her legs, when you've just approached her, is one of the biggest IOIs, so-called indicators of interest that a girl can give you. We will be talking a lot more about those, but first and foremost, Max and Real Dynamics here, and in this video, we will be very deeply talking about how to tell if a girl likes you. You see I'm sitting in front of my computer. That is because I have a lot of hidden camera, real life and film footage prepared for you. Which show you exactly how it's looking like when the girl is into you. And after watching this video, you will know exactly what to look out for in a girl if you're not quite sure whether she likes you or not. But before we're going to crack into that, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. Right underneath this video is a little subscribe button. You hit that and it helps the channel out a great deal. You would support it. Next to that is a little bell symbol. You click the bell symbol. That means you will always get notified whenever I'm dropping some new video. That would be kind of cool, and that way you don't miss out on anything. That being said, let's crack right into it. Most importantly, and this is something I've always been teaching every time I would teach a seminar, I say it's in the subtleties. For girls, for women, showing that they're interested plays on a really subtle level. We men, we're really dumb. We need a lot of really direct statements from the girl to 100% realize that she likes us, right? Like ideally the girl would stand in front of you and she's like, listen Max, I really like you. I want you inside me. I want you to be my boyfriend. Let's go do it. And then she grabs you by the neck and starts kissing you. Like that, like if you're just remotely like me, that's what I would have preferred. Like figuring out what the subtle signs are of the girl. I don't know. Why can't you just talk about that? You've heard me talk about this probably a lot of times. For us, man, our most important drive, our primary drive is logic. We look at the girl, we're like, she looks good, she has nice hair, she has a pretty smile, she smells good, she likes StarCraft just as much as me, which equals I like her. For the girl, it's all about emotions are different, it's all about the subtleties, so you need to be aware of those subtleties, okay? So, fuck being direct. A girl will very rarely ever tell you that she likes you in a direct manner, but you need to keep your eyes open for those little signs. For example, the first one I'm going to show you here is, this is what I call she's presenting her goods. She's basically showing off the body parts. For example, this one right here. The girl is presenting her chest, right? Every time they peek out their chest a little bit, they're like, look at my nice little chest situation that I have going on there. Please realize that it's quite good, right? Another one that's very classic, you've probably seen that quite a lot of times, is she's touching her hair, like this one right here. She's touching her hair. Look at my beautiful hair. This is what's going on here. This is what's going on here. Similar to that touching her hair is the hair flick. That's when they do that. Like they just do that for no reason. It's just like, look at my beautiful hair. Look at the goods that are in a special bonus today, right? Obviously, another very beautiful indicator of interest, or IOI as we say, is if the girl laughs at your jokes. Now here's a little tip. If you're not 100% sure if the girl likes you, tell an unfunny joke on purpose. Like full on hammer the retarded dad jokes out. And if she still laughs at all of them, she really, really wants to show you that she likes you, right? And as you might have noticed, these signs are quite obvious. So we're actually transitioning from the most obvious signs slowly but steadily into the more advanced stuff, into the bigger subtleties. So be aware, it's getting a little more subtle every time. So the next one, which is one of my favorite, is actually the girl looking at your lips. Back in the days, I used to say when she looks at your lips, she wants to kiss you. But then there was this guy, he's like, my coworker looked at my lips, and I tried to make out like. There's always this one guy who ruins everything. So if she looks at your lips, it's generally a good sign, right? There's this triangle look. That means if she's looking at one eye, then the other eye, and then at your lips, and then one eye, the other eye, and then in your lips again. Whenever you see a girl doing that,
oh shit! I forgot to.
Eye contact, like,
my bad.
Looks at your lips or your mouth in general. That means she's thinking about kissing you. She's why these signs both have their legs crossed.
That's retarded.
They're basically thinking of these guys.
Yo, what's up? This is Max from Real Social Dynamics, hanging out here with Julian Block. We're kicking it here in Los Angeles, Hollywood. And in this video, we will talk about these 6 irresistible things to say to a girl
that's bullshit.
that make her instantly
bullshit.
like you. Without any further ado, before we're going to crack into that, I need you to do me a favor and do consider hitting that subscribe button underneath this video. Every beta male with no options will be like, okay, I'm here. Where are you? I'm trying to find you. While she probably like sees you, like looking, like waiting there like a dog. She's like, what a peasant. Get out. But if you're just like, haha, no. Or the translation, it doesn't need to be an actual no. You could be like, haha, maybe later. She's like, how dare he? I'm a hot girl. How dare he? I must show him that he must chase me. So now she starts investing. Ain't that great?
Mm-hmm. It also shows like a lot of authenticity.
What the fuck did he say?
You're having a good time. Anything to be with a girl like me. And basically, if you say no, I'm not saying say no all the fucking time, like this crazy guy fucking yelling up there. No, I'm saying say no when it's generally something that you don't want to do. And if you can say that, the girl is like, wait a minute, he does not do everything in his power in order to get with me. That means he probably has something like abundance. He probably has a lot of choices. So now I want him. Like, it's so crazy. Like, you say no, like, basic example is the girl is, you're out there partying with your friends. You might have met the girl at the bar or at the club, and you're killing it. You're having a good time. And she's like, come outside. Every beta male with no options will be like, okay, I'm here. Where are you? I'm trying to find you. While she probably like sees you, like looking, like waiting there like a dog. She's like, what a peasant. Get out. But if you're just like, haha, no. Or the translation, it doesn't need to be an actual no. You could be like, haha, maybe later. She's like, how dare he? I'm a hot girl. How dare he? I must show him that he must chase me. So now she starts investing. Ain't that great?
Mm-hmm. It also shows like a lot of authenticity, you know, because every guy who's talking to her, as you said, is trying to be the most agreeable, the most pleasing, like whatever she says is awesome, and he agrees with it. And when you're like no, or you disagree sometimes, it shows her like, oh, you know, I can trust this person, because if you're saying yes all the time, it's extremely fucking fake.
Like that's you do that like all the time. Like, like I like this movie. You're like, no. Like even if you actually like it, you're like, no, fuck that movie.
It's like no. And also
no,
one thing
fuck
here
that
is like
movie.
do it with a bit of a smile, as you said, like don't be
No.
a dick. Who's like no. It's like, do you want to hang out? No. It's like, play it smart.
We had that student.
Not
once,
really.
I think it was even on the buka with you and me, where we told him that, like, disagree. And then he's like, okay, so this girl is like, I have my new purse, do you like my purse? He's like, it looks like shit.
It looks like shit.
Once. I think it was even on the buka with you and me, where we
Looks
told
like
him
shit.
that, like, disagree. And then he's like, okay, so this girl
Looks
is
like a piece of
I have
shit.
my new purse, do you like my purse? He's like, it looks like shit. And it goes like, so saying a little bit of humor.
It looks like garbage to me.
The second one is never mind. Okay, and this is where you
never
ask
mind.
the girl a question, for example. You're like, hey, so are you from Los Angeles? She's like, yeah. And you're like, never mind. And just look away. It's never mind, look away. Or
Yeah,
you're about to
never
ask something
mind.
like, oh, whoa, you know what? Never mind. And she's like, what? It creates like this loop, like, yeah, as you said, this vacuum effect, yeah, that just like reels her in. And I do this all the time. Like, you know what? Can I tell you something? Never mind. I don't know if I can. Or wait, can I? It's really important. Like, I feel like I can tell you this. Actually, no. She's like, no, tell me. You're like, no, never mind. It's a pretty nice night out, isn't it? Just change the topic, and then yeah, she's like, reeled in like
Yeah, I love that. Like this is super key. You got to immediately change the topic because I see a lot of guys that are like, oh, never mind.
and then they look at like,
And the girl like, so, you know, so you gotta just change the topic in order to create that pressure because it's funny because you're basically reeling in that attention by saying like, can I say something or are then you just create like shit like,
oh, is it your first time here? Oh, you're so nice. You know what I love about you is that you're so nice. And girls like, what? I'm not. You're too nice.
Yeah. Like, I'm not nice. I have standards.
You're
Guys
the
have to
nicest
work.
girl I
Yeah.
That's why I love that. You're the nicest girl.
So it's like the bottom line. The sub-communication here is, like, especially with girls.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Well, they know the bouncers, you know, whatever.
They're like cool. They get everything for free. Life is easy for them.
So when you ask a question in a very innocent, friendly way, but that assumes that she doesn't have that, it's like this, covert little push, you know, this like backhanded push in a friendly question. So for example, if you know it's a girl who probably say a model and you're like, oh, do you work 9 to 5? It's like assuming she works she's like, no, of course not. You know, like assuming nothing wrong 9 to 5, but for her in her ego, she's like, I don't work 9 to 5, I'm a model, I make my own hours. It's like, oh, do you work 9 to 5? Or, oh, is that H&M? Whatever she's wearing, you know? Oh, is that H&M? Oh, is that Gap? I think I saw that at Gap, right? But like totally like friendly, like not being mean. It's like, oh, is that Gap?
Yeah, totally innocent.
Yeah, versus is that Gap? No, is that Gap? So it's like coverted, backhanded. Some other ones are, oh, how much was that drink? Because you're like, say, perhaps thinking of getting a drink. You're like, oh, how much was that drink when you know she got it for free? Or, oh man, that line was crazy, right? Like, I'm guessing you had to wait a while too, or something, you know, anything that assumes that. You know, like, oh, is it your first time here? Oh, you're so nice. You know what I love about you is that you're so nice. And girls like, what? I'm not, you're too nice.
Yeah. Like, I'm not nice. I have standards.
You're
Guys
the
have to
nicest
work.
girl I
Yeah.
That's why I love that. You're the nicest girl.
So it's like the bottom line. The sub-communication here is, like, especially with girls that are actually extra high value, you show her that you don't even see that high value and that you assume that she's lower value. So she has like the expensive Gucci bag and you're like, oh, is that H&M? Like, I just love that. Yeah, small things like that. I used to say shit like, oh, cool.
I did that, by the way, linking to the Gucci. This was, a few weeks ago. A girl with like a fucking sleeve of these David Yurman bracelets, like a sleeve, and you knew she took so much pride. And I'm like, oh, whoa, where did you get those? I love them. Is that H&M? Like, I want to get one for my female friend. Is that H&M? And she's like, this is David Yurman. But like, she can't get mad because you're not being a dick about it. It's like innocently asking. It's like this little. It's again, everything's like playfully.
H&M.
And you know the crazy thing, like, you know where we got this from? We got this from girls. Like, because we men, we try to be way more obvious in it. We would be like, oh, like, this doesn't look good. This is probably H&M. And then we think, like, we negged the girl, but she's just going to call you out, like, oh, you're trying to neg me. Like, you probably have low self-esteem. But you got to, like, this shit is so subtle because she has to infer it over, like, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners, basically, that she's just like, she can't call you out. It's so subtle that she feels the diss without really being able to pinpoint it in the very moment. And that is something that women are mastering. Like, if you, like, you can learn this shit better from, like, girls who secretly hate each other and the small little, like, poison drips that they give into each other.
Like the friendly fronts, but
but it's actually, like, backstabbing, right? Like, this is the craziest thing. So if you learn these sort of things, like saying no, saying all these, like, little disses that we've been talking about so far, it's basically just communicating on a level that is so high that are women operating in when they diss each other. Because, like, again, like, men, they diss way more obvious. Yeah. But women are in this, like, super high level of, like, social mastery shit. And if you're able to communicate on that, that's just really, really insane stuff.
And it shows you get it. Like, you have social intelligence enough to pull it off versus being like, oh, fuck this. It's like, oh, wow, he can play at that level.
Which brings me to the next point, which is very, very similar, and that is you're actually. All right, with the emphasis on the actually. So let's say you meet a girl, she's pretty, and you've been talking for 5 minutes now, and she says a bunch of things that are quite interesting. Now you're like, oh, that's so cool. You're actually really smart. Like, it's again, like, it's a compliment. It's similar to the question, it's like a covert compliment. It's a compliment, but it's also backhanded by saying you're actually. Because when you're saying you're actually, you're pretty much inferring, like, you're surprised. Yeah. So all you is like, what do you mean actually? Like, don't don't I look smart? And you're like, actually really smart. Like, again, it's so innocent, you don't even notice it.
Not that bad.
Yeah, you're actually not that bad. Like, who would have thought, right? And it's, again, like, on such a high level, the diss is so covert that she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And now, like, chances are very high that she's going to inquire further, and now you have that open loop again, and you say, oh, so anyway, and then you change the topic.
That was actually pretty good. Who knew? And that brings us to the last 6 point here, and that is self-deprecation. Okay, and that's where you make fun of yourself, and what it communicates to the girl is that you are so high value, you are so much of the shit that you couldn't be bothered to try to impress her. Because that's what most guys do. They're like, hey, I have a really good job. Look how much money I make. Do you know how much money I made last month? Et cetera, et cetera. You do the opposite. And it's the first thing I do. Like when a girl asks me, like, so what do you do? I'm like, oh, I work at 7-Eleven. And she's like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes. Like, what's wrong with 7-Eleven? Are you dissing? Why would you not think I work there?
Okay, I'll go on Mixer.
Like twice a day.
Yeah.
Like as if it's the most epic thing.
Here's some free Slurpees if you want, you know, working my way up. It's always been a dream of mine to be a manager someday. Started janitor, and now I'm finally working that Slurpee machine. And in her mind, she's like, you know, I'm having a blast. First of all, make sure you're having a blast saying it.
Yeah.
But it's showing her like, why is he not trying to seduce and impress me? What the who is this guy?
She's so
and once more, it reels her in.
Yeah, it's like
okay, I'll go
like
on
every
Mixer.
guy trying to be the coolest, and then you just don't. You're just not trying.
Time for Mixer. Whatever. So you say Mixer's fun for you. I don't know what you're talking about. Mixer's fun for you. It's all the same shit. Like, I don't know how you think it's more fun. It's the same shit. It's basically just all the same, but whatever. I'll go to Mixer. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, I'm going to Mixer. It's all the same shit to me. I mean, I do both, you know? I did a couple days YouTube. I can do some Mixer. Like, you guys overreact way too fucking hard. Like, I fucking chill on YouTube for a couple days, and you're all going like, he quit Mixer. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. You're, like, overreaction so much. Like, I'm just fucking chilling and relaxing and thinking about future ideas and shit. You know? I didn't fucking quit Mixer. I was like, Jesus. I'm just chilling and doing whatever the fuck, you know? That's what I do. Alright, I'm gonna go find the password and everything. Jesus.